Hello and welcome to your Mining Disrupt news surge for the week of Monday, July 22nd, 2024. There's been a lot of news this week, but before we jump into all of that, please remember everything that you see here is for entertainment and education purposes only. Please do not take financial advice from this guy. Before we jump into a recap of this week jam-packed full of big news stories, let's take a look at the numbers. As always, we are here on timechaincalendar.com, and I just got to draw attention to right here above my head, right up here. The on-chain fees are so drastically low. Anytime is 2 sats per VByte, and priority is 4 sats. These are about as low as I've ever seen. And the price right now is $67,300 per Bitcoin. And I got some news on that a little bit later, and it's maybe some of the craziest, most bullish news that I've had in a long while, right at the very end of this. But like I said, it's been a crazy week of news. The amount of sats that you'll get for $1 is 1,486, and we're doing just fine in terms of the block time. It's a little bit fast, 9 minutes and 1 second, so I guess relatively fast, but things are screaming right along. Hash rate for the 14-day average, right here, you can't see it's directly behind my head, 607 exahashes. Things are just cruising along. First up, let's recap what happened on Tuesday. On Tuesday, Dennis Porter released this huge breaking. Republican National Party adds Bitcoin rights to their party platform, supports the ban of CBDCs. Once again, we see Dennis doing God's work when it comes to Bitcoin, going around spreading the word of what this thing is, why it's so important, why states need it, and on a much larger level, why our country needs it. Now, moving over to Wednesday, we had the Republican National Convention taking place, but there was this speech that took place there with Doug Bergman of North Dakota, and he said some stuff that really stood out to me. Take a listen.
Unleashing American energy dominance is our path back to prosperity and peace through strength.
What he says there is peace through strength and energy dominance, and it all ties into what Jason P. Lowry has talked about numerous times with Bit Power. This is a major place to be paying attention, and if you're not paying attention, I encourage you to just check out Jason Lowry's work. Just watch a podcast or two with him and see what he has to say. Also on Wednesday, here, still at the RNC, Mike Geronimo says, on the floor of the RNC, spreading the Bitcoin gospel with Chad Blackburn. Here you go. Tax me if Bitcoin you can. The word about Bitcoin is getting out there. If this is useful to you, if you like these news roundups, if you like me touching on what's happened in the past week, please leave a comment down below, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all the latest Bitcoin happenings. Before we move on to the wild news that came out on Thursday, this was still on Wednesday. Charles Edwards here says, already 65% of Mt. Gox creditors have been repaid, and the price is up. The price is up. Remember when people were saying that when Mt. Gox, all that, the thousands of Bitcoin goes out to the people that are owed and that all gets all settled, that the price is going to dump because people are going to be selling? It hasn't dumped. It hasn't. Now, it may still, who knows what the future holds, but as of right now, the price is back to where it was a month and a half, 2 months ago. It's getting close to tickling the bottom half of 70,000, so things are looking up. Now, I just mentioned crazy news coming out on Thursday, and boy, I could not have seen this one coming ever. Okay, maybe not ever, but not this soon. This, on Thursday, he's changed his tune. Trump reveals JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, Mr. Anti-Bitcoin, anti-crypto, all of the just no, changed his tune. Sudden Bitcoin and crypto flip amid huge price surge. Talk about a 180. Jamie Dimon is now on board with Bitcoin, at least in some degree. Just a moment ago, I mentioned that speech from Doug Berman out of North Carolina, and then here on Thursday, when Trump spoke, he was talking about energy again.
AI needs literally twice the electricity that's available now in our country. Can you imagine?
And to round Thursday out, we've got this little tidbit. Michael Saylor saying Bitcoin has become a political force.
J.D. Vance is the first candidate on a presidential ticket to own Bitcoin. He owns more than $100,000 worth of it.
Now you might think, oh boy, $100,000 worth of Bitcoin, that's what, a coin and a half or something? Who cares? At least he has some. He's aware of it to have that amount. And Trump, if you're not aware, is also pro-Bitcoin enough to be going to the Bitcoin conference to talk about Bitcoin. More about that in a second, but holy moly, ladies and gentlemen, things are changing, and they are changing fast. Of all the stories this week, this might have been, as far as I'm concerned, the biggest one. The hands down biggest one. Well, except for one other. We're going to save that for the end because it came out today as I'm recording this Sunday. But this one right here. Remember on Friday when the internet came to a screeching slowdown and planes and everything was just coming to a shutdown? Look at this. The time lapse of all the planes getting shut down because of the IT infrastructure, cloud strike, just going bananas, things falling apart. And yet, Bitcoin didn't even blink. Did not hiccup. Just kept on working as though nothing even happened. Why? Hey, whoa, ladies and gentlemen, decentralized networks are a really good thing. Having a single or very few points of failure, not so bright. This Bitcoin thing is about as robust as things can get. Now, before I get to that final massive piece of news, this from Dennis Porter to round out Friday. He says, I've been taking calls with reporters nonstop for the last 24 hours to talk about the Bitcoin strategic reserve. Even the mainstream media is waking up to the potential of Bitcoin. Eventually, the entire world will be pro-Bitcoin. This much is true. Now, when mainstream media starts to pull their heads out of wherever they store them during most of the day, and they go, hey, well, maybe there's something over there that we should pay attention to. Boy, it might have already been too late for you. Although, it's never too late for Bitcoin. People, as the saying goes, people get Bitcoin at the price they deserve. Now, finally, this is arguably, maybe inarguably, the largest bit of news to come out this whole week. This, it's everywhere, but this one's from Dylan McClare. Where we stand. These are the odds of your next president. Donald Trump is at 64%. Kamala Harris down at less than half of that, and then some random who knows who else down here at 6%. Hillary Clinton is just sweeping the floor with her whole 2%. It seems, as of right now, that our next president is going to be Donald J. Trump. And I think a lot of people said that after he stood up after getting shot and standing there with that photo with his fists raised and saying, fight, fight, fight. Look. We are about to have a pro-Bitcoin president, it sure as heck seems, and a pro-Bitcoin vice president who is only 39 years old. We might be entering a golden age of prosperity for not just the US if they play their cards right, but the entire world. Who would have thought we would live to see these times? Boy, I don't know that I ever would. Be sure that you're subscribed because each week I will be bringing you these weekly roundups so that you can stay up to date with all of the happenings. Until next week.